Welcome back to lesson 9 of the Watercolor Journey Painting Challenge. Hi, I'm Chris, and the last couple of weeks we talked about concepts and artist mindset tips. If you're just joining us, you can start from the beginning of the lessons by clicking on the link on the screen now or relax instead, because today we're going to be talking about low pressure projects. And please stay all the way through this project because I'm going to show you an amazing trick to make black with actual colors. I love to have a list of low pressure projects that I can paint when I'm not feeling on my game. Those are the times I need to paint the most if I'm feeling a little down or distracted or I'm needing a little bit of a pick me up. Painting is just the best medicine. But those are the times we usually don't paint because we feel like we're going to mess up or that we aren't even worthy to paint that day. That's where low pressure projects come in. They allow us to get our brush and paints out without feeling unworthy and without worrying about getting the project just perfect. Abstract painting is one option, which I'll be going over in a later video. But today I'm going to be doing a version of abstract painting by painting a galaxy or nebula. Let's get into it. I actually taped this paper down today because I'm going to get it pretty wet, and every part of this painting will have paint on it as opposed to other paintings where much of it is left blank. So I'm using my Spring Viviva Colors pan set, and I'll start with the cobalt blue. I'm using a reference image from pexels.com, so I do have something to follow, but the idea is to be as loose and imperfect as possible so that I can just relax and enjoy the painting process without focusing too much on accuracy. I'm going to include a link to this image so you can also use it as a reference image if you choose to, but I don't want to include it in the video just in case it gets licensed later on and becomes an issue. I'll be using colors from my color palette for this painting, but these colors can be replaced with anything you like from your own color palette that you chose at the beginning of this challenge. This will really help you make this painting your own, and it will more likely look great with what you've painted for the challenge so far. You can also go and find a different galaxy photo with your colors already included in it. I love to paint nebulas because they are very abstract since they're made of space gases and dust. It means I can be that much less accurate and I can really relax and enjoy painting it. That's what this photo is of, but you can also paint a pinwheel galaxy or whatever grabs your attention as you're searching for inspiration. And you could just paint along with me with no image. That would be pretty fun too. One of the reasons that this is on my low pressure project list is that painting outer space in general is incredibly relaxing. There's just something about it that makes me feel like I'm floating out there somewhere, and it feels so peaceful and just gets my mind off of things. So I'm pretty excited to be sharing this project with you today. I'm getting this paint as dark as I can because, let's face it, space is dark. However, keep in mind, this can look any way you want it to, and there's no right or wrong here. Painting something like this is also amazing practice for how to use your colors and of course for brush control. But the real fun we'll be having today is with the colors. As I mentioned earlier in the video, I'm going to be showing you an amazing trick for making black with actual colors. Now, I have a beautiful slate black in my Viviva original color sheet set, but this is just such a cool trick, especially if you don't have black in your palette. And the black is much richer because there's no gray in it. It's just a wonderful second option to use whenever you need it. This is a part of the image where the blue gets a little lighter and more luminous. Part of the charm of a nebula is that most of the time there is light running through them, which makes the colors kind of glow. And it also gets lighter in this area. Everywhere there is some black, I'm going to cover it with a very dark cobalt blue for now, which is pretty much all around the edges and in a few other places. You should know that I have never painted this one before, so I'll be stopping along the way to assess what's happening on the paper and see what I want to do next. From here, I'm going to clean the blue out of this brush because I have quite a bit that went down into the lower part of the bristles, and leaving it in there for any length of time is a good way to ruin a good brush. Now, I want to get some orange on the page, and I want it just as concentrated as the blue. Orange is not a very dark color by nature because of the yellow in it, but I do want it just as thick and concentrated. You should know I have sped up parts of this painting, so if you need to slow it down or stop it to catch up, you can do that at any point. It's time for a second layer on the blue down here, so there is an orange shape on top. Then it gets pretty dark at the bottom. So I'm going to just keep filling up the page with color. I'm looking at this image often to help guide me, but I'm not being that detailed with it. I'm just honestly painting what grabs my attention the most, so I know it will be fun to paint. There's a lot I can choose to leave out if I wanted to as well, so we'll see how it goes. Now, here's the fun part. Because blue and orange are actually complementary colors, when I put equal amounts of both on the paper, they automatically turn into black. The cool thing about this black is that it doesn't feel so flat or gray. It feels like it has a depth to it, which is really awesome for a space painting. This will work with any two complementary colors, by the way, or primary colors, and it also works with blue and brown. So you can have some fun with that later on and test it out. But keep watching because I'm going to show you another really fun trick in a few minutes. Now that I'm creating this black on the edges of the painting, the blue and the orange are really starting to pop, and I can add some of the darker tones coming in on those colors. There's just a lot of movement in this space gas, so I'm going to have some fun with some swirling strokes in a little bit. There's also some yellow showing through in a few places, so I'm going to go ahead and swirl that in as well. Many of the strokes that I have laid down can always be blended or adjusted as needed, or I can just leave them the way they are. I'm just taking my time and enjoying the process. And this is the other trick I wanted to show you. By wetting some of these areas, I can drop tiny amounts of the blue-orange mixture, which now looks black, and let the black run through the water and dry in these filament-looking lines. This creates some natural-looking veins in the gases that you'll see in a lot of nebula images. Again, I don't have to do this level of detail, but I'm just relaxing into this process and getting lost in it. And I'm also challenging myself to see how far I can go. It's not an accuracy game, but a way to just chill out for as long as I want to or need to. If you feel this process isn't relaxing for you, though, you can stop at any time and call it done. I'm just blending some of the harsher line work now to get more of that gaseous feel. I've switched to my smaller round brush to capture some finer points, mostly the edges of these gas clouds. Now that I'm feeling complete with the color on this painting, I'm going to start creating some of the white stars with my new Faber-Castell white paint pen. I'm guessing this is an acrylic paint because it seems to stay really put and be pretty concentrated. It has some thickness to it, and so it will show up nicely, especially on the darker parts. I'm going to take my time with the stars, just like I did with the painting process, because it's also really relaxing. And because the stars are placed so randomly, I don't have to worry about accuracy, which is another fantastic low pressure element to galaxy paintings. This was really fun, and I can't wait to see what you paint based on this lesson. I hope you enjoyed this project and that you'll allow yourself more grace when you're not feeling quite on your game to paint. Do you already have a strategy for those days? I would love to hear about it, and any thoughts you might have about this in the comments below. And if you haven't joined us in the challenge yet, you can find the link in the description. When you join, you'll get all the challenge lessons, the PDF workbook, access to the community, and an online challenge hub, all for free. So you don't want to miss it. You might even see your artwork featured in one of these videos later on. In fact, it's time to see some of the projects from our challenge members. And there are even more challenge member projects in our private Facebook community, and you can find the link to join us there also in the description. You can click the image on the screen now to watch all the challenge lessons from the beginning. And in the meantime, if you enjoyed this video, I would so appreciate it if you would hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, and tap the notification bell so you don't miss any new videos as they come out. And I'll see you next time.